Hey guys, what's up? It's Timmer with TalkingTech.com, and this right here is Google Glass. Google Glass essentially gives you glanceable information. That's the short synopsis of what it does. You can see that there is a projector screen on the front, and that projector screen is what shoots you information. So what I mean by glanceable information is if, let's say, someone sends you a tweet, that's a glanceable piece of information. If someone sends you an email, that's a glanceable piece of information. If you want a quick news update, that's glanceable and quick. So that's basically what Google Glass seeks to do. It just shoots you glanceable information throughout your day. It makes your life a little bit easier, I guess, rather than having to pull out your smartphone. Having information right in front of you, it's great. It's just awesome being able to do something at that second. You don't have to pull out something from your pocket, and it just feels a lot more natural having something on your face and right there, then and there. So let's go ahead and start out just from hardware, because before we start with software, I want to talk about hardware. So there is a camera on the front, like I mentioned earlier. It's a 5 megapixel shooter, which really isn't important at all unless you consider the software, so I'll talk about that later. What's more important though is the projector screen right next to the camera. The projector screen size is the equivalent of looking at a 25-inch monitor from 8 feet away. So if you own a 25-inch monitor, step 8 feet away from it and you'll know what Google Glass's projector looks like. And you can see I have direct access to it from my right eye. I just look up a little bit. I don't even have to stress my eyes. I just move my eyeball a little bit, a couple of degrees up. Doesn't hurt my eyes. I can quickly look back. There won't be any headaches, any fatigue at all. And I can tell you that because I've been using it for 3 months and I haven't had that problem. You have obviously a nose pad right here, like traditional glasses. And this also has a little railing to attach the lenses to it. But moving over to the side of Google Glass, you actually have a, I believe, a 5-inch long touchpad, and you just swipe your finger forward and back, and it's multi-touch, so you can apply 2 fingers to do special gestures, and this is how you're going to navigate Glass. But there's another cool way to navigate Glass, and that's using your voice. So basically, there's one key hot word, and it is quote-unquote OK Glass, and that's how you activate hot words hands-free. I'll get into that when I'm talking about software. But moving further down the line of Google Glass, there is hanging actually right behind your ear, it's a bone induction speaker, and this vibrates your skull to produce a sound. It's obviously not the best sound quality out there, but the technology is cool. So even if you're deaf, you could actually still hear audio. On the other side of Google Glass, it's basically just a titanium frame hanging all the way back behind your ear, and it mimics glasses. But that's Google Glass's hardware in a couple seconds. So let's go ahead and jump into software. So when you get into Google Glass, you are introduced always to the home screen, which tells you the time. But then also this is where you say the hot word. So you say OK Glass, and you have all these commands to execute. But also I want to show you guys what Google Glass actually looks like in terms of user interface. So basically you just swipe forward and back throughout these little cards. That's what they're calling them. It's like a little carousel. You just move around. If you're swiping forward, it shows you everything you've already done on Glass. I haven't even showed you guys what you can do on Glass, but as you can see, I have like these news updates, I have tweets, I have music, and etc, etc. I'm just using my finger to just scroll all the way through Glass. By default, Google Glass actually can only do 7 things, which sounds like not a lot, but you can also do third-party stuff. And when Google Glass gets more and more out of beta, there will be more and more developers working on it. But that's the thing with the beta products, it can only do 7 things by default. And those things are, first of all, taking a picture. So that's what empowers the camera. You say, OK Glass, take a picture, and that immediately takes 1 snap. And then you can immediately share that to social networks or third-party applications such as Google Drive. OK Glass, add a caption. This is a test for my Google Glass review, which will be up really soon, period. That's the first thing you can do on Google Glass. The second thing is recording a video. So you say, OK Glass, record a video, and it immediately starts recording a video. You tap to extend the video from being more than 10 seconds long, which is the default, and then it'll record all the way up to the 12 gigabyte capacity or until the battery dies. The third thing you can do is get directions to a place. So you say, okay Glass, get directions to Best Buy, and it automatically lays out step-by-step directions for you on how to get to Best Buy. There's walking directions, there's biking, there's transit, and there's car, and it does a very good job step-by-step. And what's cool is it's all hands-free, and what I mean by that is you can say, okay Glass, show route overview, or okay Glass, stop directions, okay Glass, stop route overview. And obviously, if you remember that there's a projector, it's very cool that if you're driving or biking, you don't have to like look down at your phone. You just look up a couple degrees at the Google Glass projector, and there's the map for you right there. The next thing is sending a message, which is boring. You say, okay Glass, send a message to. It'll send a Google Hangouts message or a text message to whoever you want. The sixth thing you can do on Google Glass is using it as a Bluetooth speaker. So you connect it to your smartphone, whether it be iOS or Android. Then you say, okay Glass, make a call to, and it will automatically, as soon as you say whoever name you want to call, it'll automatically start calling them from your phone, but the Google Glass bone induction speaker will serve as a Bluetooth speaker. So the sixth thing, which is a little bit more unique, is making a video call to someone. So you say, okay Glass, make a video call to, and it'll automatically load up Google Hangouts, and it'll automatically start calling whoever you want to call. But this time it's through video chat, so it's very cool. And the last thing, which adds a lot of functionality to Glass, is Googling things. So you say, okay Glass, Google Sergey Brin. It'll open up the top search results on Google, and obviously the one in this case is Wikipedia. You press it, it takes you to the mobile site. It will be the same with like The Verge or YouTube, but when you go to the Wikipedia, to any website, you basically navigate by using your finger, scrolling forward and back on the touchpad. But also, if you apply 2 fingers and hold it down, you can use your head's motion to control a cursor, so you can press links on the page. So you navigate by applying 2 fingers. You can zoom out by moving 2 fingers forward and back. But besides those 7 default features, which are obviously not very interesting, Google Glass can also load up third-party apps. There are third-party apps which aren't certified by Google, but then there are third-party apps which are certified by Google. So there is a Google Glass Play Store. It's actually called the My Glass Store. So I just want to take a couple seconds for you guys to just see all these apps in use. Alright, so the first third-party app that I want to show you guys is actually a game. It's actually the coolest game that I've demoed out on Glass, or at least the least buggy one, the most responsive one. It's called Copter, and you're basically just controlling a helicopter using head motion up and down, forward and back. It's kind of like that Apple iPad game that was popular a couple years back, and it's really a really good concept game for Glass because it shows what kind of potential that you have with Glass for gaming. Alright, so the next game is made by Google. It's just a simple clay shooter game for Glass. And keep in mind, the screencasting that I'm showing you guys isn't a live time frame rate. Google Glass is actually quite responsive. It's just that the screencast makes it really laggy. But you can see the concept of the game is just to shoot clay plates out of the sky by touching the touchpad and using your head to control the gun sight. It's a simple game. It's kind of boring. I couldn't see myself playing this for longer than 5 minutes. But so this really is just showing you what kind of potential furthermore is possible with Google Glass's Glass Development Kit for programmers and developers. Another cool third-party feature that I installed is being able to take notes to Evernote. If you're an Evernote user like I am, I rely on Evernote almost every day. This is very useful because once again, this ties into the concept of Glass being like a glanceable information device. You quickly just take a note to take out the trash or do a homework assignment. It's very useful because this goes straight to the cloud, straight to your Evernote account, and it's right there and you can check to see what you have to do for that day. Another third-party developer actually made Google Glass compatible with Wolfram Alpha.
so you could compute mathematical equations, and they can be as complex as possible. It's to Wolfram Alpha's limits because this actually ties into wolframalpha.com's database. So here's just a quick sample equation that I plugged in using my voice, and it actually detects everything you say quite well, the variables and stuff and the numbers, and I was very impressed. But it almost immediately calculates it, and here we go. Here you can see that there's the integer solution. It even plotted it. It showed you alternate form, standard form, slope-intercept form, etc., etc. And you could do this for other mathematical equations, so this is a very useful feature. It's glanceable information if you're too lazy or just don't want to do a mathematical equation yourself. For those of you Twitter users out there, Twitter developers have finally implemented the post and update command to Google Glass. This has actually been very recent. This actually came out a month ago, and finally you can tweet whenever you want just by using your voice through Google Glass. And with this feature, I've found myself tweeting a lot more often because I don't have to pull my phone out. I have Google Glass on my face. I can just tilt my head up or touch the touchpad and say, okay, Glass, and then I could say post an update and say my update. So it's a very useful command, and it's simple, but it's there. And for those of you that like Twitter a lot, it's great. This next non-default app is actually made by Google, and it's Google Play Music. So if you have a Google Play Music library, then this is perfect for you because you can listen to music on Glass. I don't really recommend it because you're limited to using the bone induction speaker, which isn't the best quality out there, and honestly it just tickles your head a lot. But Google Glass also comes with a mono earbud, so if you want to use that, it has a little bit better sound quality, and it isn't as much of a gimmick as using the bone induction speaker to listen to music. And so this is there, Google Play Music. If you didn't know, you could actually put a ton of free songs into the cloud. I have tons of songs in the cloud, and I can definitely see myself using this feature a lot in the future with the free music I have in the cloud. Finally, the last app out of many apps that are made by third-party developers that I'm going to be showing you is WordLens. I'll show you a ton more third-party apps if you're really interested in it, so comment down below. There's tons and tons. I just limited this because I felt like putting it in. But this is an augmented reality word translator. Just check it out right here. Here I have a message on my computer. I point the Google Glass camera to it, and it translates the message from English to French by just augmenting the words, by blurring them out and putting them into French and motion tracking it in. It's actually quite insane. This shows you what kind of potential Glass has. I'm not saying it's a perfect feature. There's tons of lag, but in the future, when Glass gets more software updates, this feature will be insane for travelers. This app, it just shows you how much potential that Glass has for glanceable information.
But anyway, guys, I really do believe in Google Glass. It definitely has a lot of potential, and I've used it for a few months plus now, and it's completely changed my life. It's a totally different outlook on technology, and it's just great having a glanceable, wearable device on you at all times. But I can tell you right now that it isn't ready at all at its current state. But that being said, it's a beta product. So here are a few things that Google could do to actually make this the perfect product. So first of all, they definitely have to upgrade the software because the interface on Google Glass isn't at all Google-esque, if you know what I mean. It's basically just sliding cards, like I mentioned earlier. There's nothing special about it. It's too laggy, obviously. It's completely like there's a lag like 80% of the time, and if they just make the operating system something along the lines of KitKat, something as advanced as KitKat, but something capable enough of being controlled by just a touch display, then Google Glass will be perfect in that sense. So if they upgrade the software, that'll be great, but along with that, they need to upgrade the hardware, because part of the reason as to why it's kind of laggy is because it doesn't have the fastest processor, it doesn't have the best technology to it. So once they upgrade the hardware and the software, Google Glass will automatically be a way better experience. Also, the last thing that's really important, a third crucial factor on making Google Glass a very good product, is getting a ton of developers on it, getting the whole Google Glass team programming applications for it, such as Google Drive, a good version of Google Now, I don't know, YouTube, stuff like that, applications, Google Chrome, just a ton of like cool features that make Google Glass as customizable as like something along the lines of a Nexus device. So those are 3 things that Google could do to make the product great. But in addition, if they get developers on it, then that will make Glass obviously a lot better. So I'm excited to see what Google has in store for Glass. It's a great product, and I have all belief that in a year from now, if Google keeps up the work, it'll be very successful. So can't wait to see what that's like, and I'm really happy that I've been on this journey. It's a great experiment, and I recommend you guys pick this up if you have the chance.